Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA 5 video, we're going to be talking about how much money I believe you're going to need to be ready fully to be able to purchase everything, cars, vehicles, clothing, all the new content from the Cayo Perico DLC update. So as we get more information from Rockstar on how the actual heist is going to work and the new items, vehicles, and more that'll be arriving, I'm sure I will do an update and a follow-up to this. But we are less than 3 weeks away from this update arriving, and for many of us, we're going to be wondering if our bank account is DLC ready. And whether you have $5 million, $500 million, $5,000, you're going to want to know if that's going to be enough to be able to buy everything. And so we'll be discussing how much I think you're going to need in this video today. And this has obviously been a very interesting year, not only in real life, but in Grand Theft Auto Online as well, because the only other update we've gotten so far, the Los Santos Summer Special, didn't really stretch our wallets all that much. There was 15 vehicles that were all added on day one, which means there wasn't any drip feed. There also wasn't like a significant crazy amount of high-priced vehicles. There was no new property to buy. Really, the only thing you would technically have to purchase in order to take advantage of all the content would have been the super yachts, which have gone on sale plenty of times by now and were added back in 2015, so even that isn't something all that new. And as far as everything else goes, you pretty much didn't have to purchase anything that was included in the update. There was new adversary mode series, there was new business battles. None of that required you to buy anything. So needless to say, you probably didn't have to spend a whole lot of money in GTA Online with the Los Santos Summer Special. And so that leads us to the Cayo Perico Heist, which Rockstar said is going to be the biggest DLC update ever. And you can only imagine that with the biggest DLC update ever, this is very likely going to be the most expensive update ever. Now, at its core, the Cayo Perico update is a heist. So this will give us a good idea on how it's going to work and what things we might need to purchase along the way as well. So let's start with the heist before we get into the more tangible stuff. So the way that every heist has worked so far, you have to purchase a property. In 2015, you had to have a high-end apartment. In 2017, for the Doomsday heist, you had to have a facility. Last year in 2019, for the Diamond Casino heist, you had to have an arcade. So the 3 heist updates that we've had prior to this, you've all had to purchase some sort of property. So I think that this update is going to be no exception. Now, the only thing that makes this a little bit interesting, this is obviously taking us to a brand new island, the Cayo Perico Island, or whatever it's officially going to be called. And so because of that, I don't know what sort of property that could be. Maybe it's buying stake in Los Santos International Airport. The only teaser we've gotten so far regarding that is that our John Doe character that is washed up on the shore, his last known location was Los Santos International Airport. So I don't know if that's a hint or a clue that we'll have to buy a hangar or a terminal there so that we can fly our own private plane in order to get access to the Cayo Perico Island. Long story short, we're going to have to purchase something, whether that's a plane ticket, a hangar, a property, a base of operations. There's going to be some upfront cost that you need in order to start this heist. Now, it might have multiple different purposes. If it is something at the airport, it might come with a ton of other features along with it as well. But I can guarantee you, in order to start this heist, there is going to be a requirement of you purchasing some sort of physical object or item so that you can get this entire thing started. Now, as far as what else is going to be included in the heist update, Rockstar have confirmed a handful of things so far. We just don't know all the specifics and how many. So Rockstar have confirmed that there are going to be new vehicles and tactical weapons. So obviously we don't know how many vehicles there's going to be. In the couple of trailers that we've seen so far, we know that there's at least a handful of confirmed weaponized and armored vehicles. And of all the ones on the island, that's what we saw. They were all weaponized boats, armored cars, and that means they're going to be pretty expensive. That's always been Rockstar's MO. When something is armored or weaponized, the price automatically goes up. So we've already seen about 5 to 6 new vehicles, and we'll even talk about a crazy big one as we get further on. I would imagine with this update, there's easily going to be 20 to 25 new vehicles. I mean, if the Los Santos Summer Special update gave us 15, and that was considered a small update, I would say at a minimum, we're going to go up to 20 to 25. It would not be shocking if altogether, with all the variants of the cars and vehicles, we even reach 30 or somewhere around that amount. Now, let's move on to the tactical weapons. I think that first adjective is important, tactical, because I think that means these weapons are going to have more of a purpose than just an assault rifle or an SMG. I think they are going to be pretty expensive because they're going to be some of the most unique weapons that Rockstar have added into the game. Now, whether that's something crazy like a poisonous dart shooter or a chainsaw or a flamethrower or a crossbow or a weapon that can fire underwater or something like that. Who knows what Rockstar has planned? Maybe it's a new type of grenade launcher or it's just something crazy that they're going to be introducing. But when I hear tactical weapons, I hear more than just like, here's an assault rifle, here's a shotgun, here's an SMG. So even with this, I think the weapons could be a bit more expensive. And it was also plural. So we know there's going to be multiple weapons. Now, Rockstar also mentions that there are new social spaces to dance and party in with your friends. Now, I wonder if these new social spaces are going to be added to the Diamond Casino and Resort, because that's the first tease that we actually got. Tom Connors texted us saying that there's construction going on at the Diamond. How does the Diamond connect us to this new island? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe this is just a part of the update. And maybe these new social spaces require you to pay an additional fee at the Diamond Casino and Resort. So that's another sort of miscellaneous thing that you're going to tack on there as well, because it looks like these new social spaces will feature world-class DJs, and maybe there's a fee to get in and see them. Who knows how Rockstar is planning on, pricing out the players here. And don't forget, there's also one crazy new vehicle that's being added, and that is the heavily armored submarine HQ. And this is going to be versatile, armored, plenty of other surprises. It wouldn't surprise me if this HQ alone was in the $2 to $3 to $4 million range, just like the MOC, the Avenger, and the Terabyte. It's basically going to be an underwater version of that. So when it's all said and done with all the upgrades, I mean, that vehicle alone could easily be $3 to $4 to $5 million right then and there. So that's kind of what we know so far, and that doesn't even include all the other miscellaneous things that Rockstar are going to include. I mean, let's not kid ourselves here. There's going to be new accessories. There's going to be new hats, new masks, new clothing. There's going to be a ton of stuff that we're going to be able to buy. And this doesn't even include all the other potential features that could be added as well. Like, for example, let's say the island is added in free roam. Maybe there's a fee. You go to Los Santos International Airport, you pay $100,000, you're able to go to the island, and vice versa. That's how much a plane ticket costs to get to the Cayo Perico Island. So I feel like there's a lot of things that Rockstar could ultimately do here to make this update filled with not only cool things, but also things that are meant to drain your wallet a little bit. Now, the good news with all of it is this is a heist update, so you are going to be making a lot of money along the way, but initially, because you're not going to be able to just get the heist money right off the bat, especially if you want to enjoy all the new content, you're going to need a good bit of money at the start. And we don't know how Rockstar is going to do this, if there's going to be trade prices, if some vehicles are going to be locked behind, like if some vehicles are going to be completely locked away and unable to be purchased unless you complete parts of the heist, kind of like what we saw in the 2015 original heist update. There's a lot of unknowns. Now, Rockstar has said that more details are on the way, but if I had to imagine how much money you're going to need in order to buy everything from this update, I think you're going to need the most amount of money that we've ever seen. So just based off of what we've seen so far, I'm going to say on the low end, in order to purchase everything, you're probably going to need around $30 million. I mean, think about it. If there are 20 vehicles and each one is $1 million each, roughly, that's $20 million right there. That doesn't include the property you're going to need to buy, any of the other setups you're going to need for the heist itself, all the clothing, the weapons, the miscellaneous things that they're adding. So on the low end, I'm going to say $30 million. On the high end, well, let's call it around $50 million that you might end up needing here. That's the range I'm going to give you. Now, I know it's a pretty rough range, but a lot of it depends on how Rockstar handles this update. Because remember, back in the Los Santos Summer Special, they didn't have any drip feed. So when that update came out, I remember saying, like, don't worry, guys, you won't need all of it on day one. It turns out you did. And that was the first update in years in which Rockstar did not have any drip feed content that you could physically purchase. So I wonder how they're going to handle it with this DLC, the Cayo Perico Heist update. Will Rockstar return to their drip feed ways? And if they do, that means you're going to need way less money on day one. But if they do just say, we're opening the floodgates, here's everything, good luck, then you will end up needing all of that money on day one. Now, some tips that I can give you, obviously, you don't have to purchase everything. Pick and choose. You can test a lot of the content out in single player if you do have PC or mods. This is one thing I always recommend. Share with your friends and crew members. So you buy one vehicle, your friend buys another, your crew member buys a separate one. And that way you can test them out so you don't have to spend all your money on everything just to realize you might not love a vehicle or two or an item or two. So just little hints and tips like that will keep your money going a lot longer. And again, as we get more information, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated. But for now, that is roughly how much I think you're ultimately going to need for the Cayo Perico heist and all the content inside. So, of course, I would love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. How much money do you think you're going to need in GTA Online when this update arrives? Do you think it's 30 million, 40, 50, something higher than that? Let me know what you guys are thinking in those comments down below. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and all the Cayo Perico Heist DLC videos that I'll be doing here on my channel when the update arrives. And, of course, be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But, of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.